Hello, in this video, I want to show you how you can use Google Calendar to set up appointment slots. And then you can use these kinds of things for scheduling parent-teacher conferences where somebody can schedule a block of time with you and you can give them access to that particular version of your calendar. So to get started, what we're going to do is we're going to head to Google Calendar. One way to do that is to click the waffle button here in Google and then use that to navigate to your Google Calendar. And once you're over here in your Google Calendar, what I want you to do is take a look over here at the side, and you'll notice there's an area that says booking pages right over here. So if you click the plus over here, that's where you can create some booking pages or some appointment slots for your calendar. So when you click that, you're going to give yourself a title. We're going to type in parent teacher conferences. Then you need to decide how long each appointment slot is going to be. So if you click the drop down, there's some defaults here. So if you want to go 15 minutes or 30 minutes, it's there. But if you want to customize that, maybe 20-minute appointments, I know is a popular one. We're going to click custom over here. And then we can set this to 20 and change that to minutes. So that'll now break up my appointment slots into 20-minute slots. And you can start to see kind of a preview over here of what that's going to look like. Now, the next thing we're going to take a look at over here is your availability. If I were trying to create appointment slots that would happen week after week after week after week, I would leave this repeat weekly on, and I would set my weekly schedule over here. But for parent-teacher conferences, this is probably just 1 week that you want to offer these. So we're going to change this drop down from repeat weekly to does not repeat. And then we're going to manually build out what our parent-teacher conference schedule is going to look like. So we're going to pick the start date. November 17th is the date that I'm going to put in for this. And then we're going to pick on that date, what times are we available? Not starting at 9 a.m. I'm planning on starting my conferences at 12:30. And on Monday, these are then going to run to 2:50. And you can see over here, I don't have that exact time, so I'm going to pick one kind of close. We're going to pick 2:30. And then I can get in here and I can customize this and say, hey, I'm going to be done at 2:50. Now, on that Monday, if I wanted 2 blocks of time, maybe I wanted like 12:30 up until 2:50, and then I'm going to take a 30-minute break, and then I'm going to come back at 3:20 and do it again. I can use this little plus here, and I can add in a second block of time. So if you want to create different blocks throughout the day, you can do that. I'm going to click this X and get rid of that. All right, so there's my first day. It's all set up. Now I'm going to do the same thing and repeat this for the other days that I want to offer. So now I'm going to do Tuesday. I'm going to pick the date for this. That's going to be the 18th. Again, I'm going to start this at 12:30. But on Tuesday, I'm going to make this one of my late days. I'm going to go a little later, not all the way until 5 o'clock. I'm just going to go until 4 o'clock. And so when I do that, you can see it's starting to create those blocks of time for each one of these days. And it's pre-building them all in 20-minute blocks. So same thing. I'm going to now do Wednesday. I'm also going to stay late on Wednesday, 12:30. I'm actually going to even make this a little bit later for some of my parents that can't get off of work quite so early. So I'm going to stay until 4:30 that day, and I can repeat this process. I can do Thursday, and I can do Friday as well. So let's complete that. Here we go, 12:30. And again, we're going to end here at 2:50. And then we're going to do the same thing for our Friday time. Pick that, put our time frame in here. And now we've got that all set up. And of course, we're going to make sure that we've got the right time zone in, which is all set. Next up is the scheduling window. This is basically when do you want parents or somebody else to be able to sign up for appointments for you. So if you expand this, you can decide how early they can start. So the default is 60 days before the appointment, they can start signing up. I'm good with that. And then the last one is what's kind of the like cutoff in terms of before that first meeting. So the default is they can book a time up to 4 hours before that time. If you're comfortable with it being like all the way up until an hour before the meeting, you can do that, or you can set that up to be 24 hours, your decision when you want that cutoff period to be. So I'm going to get that set up. Next thing over here is a buffer time, which some may be interested in. Now, if you're going to do every 20 minutes and you're going to run them back to back to back, you don't have to modify this portion. But if you decide, hey, in between each of these conferences, I tend to run a little long, so I actually want to add a little buffer of maybe like 5 minutes here in between the conferences, you can see you can do that. And when you do that over here on the calendar, it's automatically putting in that little 5-minute buffer window for you. You can also set a maximum number of bookings per day. So, hey, once I've had 6 for the day, block out the rest of the appointment slots. And then the last one is guest permissions. Can guests invite something like their spouse to also join this meeting? I'm going to leave that on because I know sometimes some of my parents will have different personal calendars, and they might want to be able to invite each other to the appointments. The next thing over here is pick which one of your Google calendars you want those to appear on. The default one is always like your main one. For me, it's just my name. So I'm going to leave that on. And then co-host. If you've got like a co-teacher that you want to also host this with you, you can enable that there. I don't, so I'm going to skip that. All right, now I'm going to click next. On this page, booking page, photo, and name, it's just going to use my avatar and my name tied to my work Google account, so that's fine. Location and conferencing, I like this one a whole lot. If you click the drop down, you can decide what kind of conference will this be. Are all of these going to be Google Meet video conferences? Are they going to be in-person meetings, phone calls, or are you going to update it manually after each person books? Maybe some parents are going to be in person, some are going to be on a Google Meet or a Zoom. You can decide that. I'm going to pick in-person meeting. And then you'll notice that gives me a place to also pop in my room number. So if I'm in B7, I can type that in here, and then the parent knows exactly where to go to find me for that meeting. So definitely put in your location for an in-person meeting. Description, you can add things here like a note to your parents. If you are going to do something like a Zoom meeting, this is where you can drop your Zoom link for these, but you can put anything you want in that portion. The next thing that we're going to take a look at over here is the booking form. And this is going to be basically what information do I want from the person booking an appointment with me. So I want their first name, I want their last name, I want their email address for sure. Those are all required. I would also like to get phone numbers so that I can text a parent and reach out to them in case I need to message them or call them or something like that. So if you want, you can do that. You can make that required and you can add that item. Or if you don't want phone numbers, you can just click the X and delete that. One thing I definitely want to know, though, is what is the name of the student for each one of these people that's booking an appointment. So I'm going to create a custom item here. And in custom item, I'm going to type in, let's go with student's first and last name. So one field here where the parent has to type in the student's first and last name so that I can know which parent goes with which student. I'm going to make this one a required field. I'm going to click add item, and you'll see that's in there as well. And then the last thing over here is, do you want it to send automatic confirmation emails for this? And I do, so I'm going to leave those on. I think that's a nifty feature. All right, I'm going to click save now. That whole entire thing is done. Here is the appointment slot that I've created, and you'll see we've got these over here for each one of the days. What I can do now is I can preview this, and we'll take a look at that in a second. I can also click this button over here to copy the link, and that's the link that I would send out to parents using Parent Square or a teacher newsletter email or something like that. So I'm going to click copy link and just show you how this works. If I come up here and I open up a new tab and I paste that link in, that will take a parent right over here to my calendar booking appointments. And you'll see when they're in here, they're looking at today's date, and I don't have any appointments for today. But if they come on over here to the month of November, you'll see we've got 5 little blue dots here, and those are for each one of my November days. And so here they are in 20-minute intervals, 12:30 with a 5-minute buffer, 12:55, 1:20, 1:45, 2:10. When a parent then chooses which appointment slot they want, let's say 1:45 over here, and tap that, you'll see it's going to give them the room number that it's in. It's also going to ask them to fill out their contact information, and mine pre-filled all this for me, so the parents would type that out. And then you'll see here's that field, the custom one that we created, student first and last names. So they would enter in all their information here. They'd click book. It then sends you an email confirming that they have picked one of those slots. It sends them a confirmation email, and the whole thing is all set up. So that's all you have to do is set it up once, grab that shareable link. And if you ever, I'm going to close this, we're going to close this, and I'm going to come back over here. If I ever forget that shareable link, here is my parent-teacher conferences, and I've got that little link icon here. So if I copy that, that'll always get me the link again that will take parents to these different appointment slots. So give that a look, see if that saves you a little bit of time and is an interesting and easy way to set up your next set of appointment slots or parent-teacher conferences.